Yo, top of the morning, man. Today is December the 6th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Hopefully everybody's having a pretty good day, a pretty good start to their morning anyway. We got, I think it's like 6 games on the board that we're going to jump into, break down, get out, and then get up out of here, do it pretty swiftly if we can today. I dug into a few of them, made a couple bets last night that I sent out to the members. And we'll talk about them today. Got a little CLV, but we know that's been trash typically. Yesterday, talked about a lot of different things on the show, man. There was it's a pretty nice little list yesterday, short list yesterday. I put it in the Discord last night. I ended up getting super busy. Didn't even place a lot of bets. Just placed a couple. I placed were winners, but I didn't get a chance to send them out to the members because I ended up getting home super late. I just had a lot going on yesterday, but short list yesterday, if you watch the show, Cleveland first half full game were both winners. Washington team total under 55.5 in the first half was a winner. Memphis minus 2.5 was a winner. The first half they did not cover. I think they only won by a point and a half. And then the next team total up and over 115.5 was an easy winner as well. If you really like need to make some money, like in all seriousness, if you need to make a couple dollars before Christmas break, you might got, some things you want to do, something you need for the crib. You just got to wait for the Wizards to play. They don't play today. But that I just wanted to make sure I shouted that out. Boy. Make sure the Wizards are playing when you want to, bet a little big, man. Let's go through a couple of the comments and get started for today. Let's see what we got. What up, Tasha? Top of the morning, and JM says good morning. He says Knicks minus 19.5. Cash. We talked about that yesterday. I forgot about that, man. Alternate line to 19.5. I said for the Mavs too, I think. Just take the Mavs at 20. Yeah, we'll talk about this in a second, Tasha. What's up to my guy GLB Best? He says, morning, everyone. Nice little day yesterday in the NHL, in the NBA. Glad you cashed in. What up to my guy Justin? In here rocking with me as always. Same thing for my guy Mark. Mark been on fire too. Y'all see Mark drop something in the chat, man. I ain't trying to jinx you, Mark, but Mark been crushing. He giving out the plays in the Discord, been cashing. What up to my guy dropping down? Speaking of cash, college basketball women dropping down. Just recap. All I see is $, $. He says if you haven't joined the court, you're really missing out on some excellent dialogue and plays, and I would agree with that. Appreciate you dropping dimes for dropping all those dimes in the actual Discord, man. Appreciate you, bro. Some love for him as well. What up, Fear Elite says, what's up, Chris? He says, man, this VA weather is ridiculous. It's brick outside. Bro, I'm in the crib with a hoodie and a beanie on, so it's crazy right now. The wind going, like it's terrible, bro. It's crazy. We in like go outside if you absolutely have to mode in VA. It's crazy, man. But got to keep the hands warm for sure. Got some hand warmers, all that good stuff. Good morning, Marion. She says, hello, everyone. I'm new here. Been following Chris for a few weeks now through Kyle Karam's channel. Looking forward to the community. Appreciate you for tapping in, Marina. Definitely appreciate you for tapping in. Let's hopefully we can get to some cash today. Let's see. PZ in here as always. All right, let's jump into it for today. A lot of people going off in the chat. Appreciate y'all for dropping in, man. Can't get to all the comments today. Alex says took Dallas minus 19.5. Easy cash. What up to my guy Sean? He says went 5-8 last night. Ja crushed. I see Ja crushed a lot of people last night for sure. Let's see. David says, my wife walked in the living room while the Wizards were playing. She legit thought it was a college game where how few people were there and no one cheering. Yeah, I mean, what's to cheer for in DC right now, man? Nothing in basketball you want to cheer for in DC unless you talk about the Mystics. What's up to my guy Tariq? He says VA weather is killing me. What are your thoughts on Houston dropping the ball yesterday? Good day overall. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. The Warriors are the daddies. 15 straight wins for the Golden State Warriors. They don't need Steph. They don't need Clay. They don't need Draymond. Probably didn't even need Steve Kerr. Andre Iguodala probably could have played yesterday. Bring back Sean Livingston and some of the vets. Baron Davis could have beat that team last night. The Rockets, I was talking about this last night, just real quick, and then we're gonna get into the show. The Rockets are starting to look like the Rockets from last year. If you remember anything about the Houston Rockets last season, they were a really good defensive team under Ime Udoka, but they couldn't score the basketball consistently, specifically from the three-point line. We know Golden State was on a 5-game losing streak yesterday. It's not going to last forever. I didn't think that they were going to lose I didn't think Houston was going to lose last night. But they can't make threes. Go back and look at Houston's 3-point field goal percentage last night. Look at it what it was in Sacramento the other night. So get the biggest win of the season against Oklahoma City, who also ran through Toronto yesterday, and then just can't go on the road and fabricate a W at all. Probably super frustrating. All their shots in and out, but yeah, they can't make a shot. That's what it really comes down to. Let's jump into it for today, man. First thing we're going to do, as always, is talk about Jaxon. Jaxon is your sports betting companion. Today, Jaxon likes surprise. You guys this is super sharp. Surprise. No one's gonna like this play today. First game up, we got Lakers Hawks. Jaxon likes the Hawks. The Hawks are on a 5-game winning streak and have been performing very well recently, both straight up in against the spread in certain situations. However, their ATS record is just 10-13. They're 2-5 against the spread when favored by 4.5 points or more. The Lakers, on the other hand, have struggled against the spread with the 8-14 record, 1-3 against the spread as an underdog of 4.5 points or more. The Hawks, as far as the total, Jaxon likes what does Jaxon like? I'm not reading all this. It's a lot. Jaxon likes the under 230.5, and we'll talk about that. I do like the under in this game. Jaxon, as far as the total goes, Jaxon says the Hawks have gone over the total in 15 of their 23 games this season, 15-8 to the over, while the Lakers are 10-12 to the under. Lakers are 10-12 to the over, so 12-10 to the under. The Hawks games have averaged about 233.7 total points, while the Lakers games have averaged 227 points. Total points. Recent trends suggest the under might be a solid play, as the Lakers have gone under in 6 of their 7 games. So yeah, I always tell you guys, check Jaxon out, man. Ton of different stuff you can do with Jaxon. I wouldn't promote it if I didn't think if it was, something that wouldn't save you guys time, energy, effort. And that's what we need. We need to get our time back, right? You never can get your time back no matter how many bets you make, how many bets you win. So it's all about time, and Jaxon will save you some time. Check out the promo code if you're interested in joining. 50% off in the description of the video using code ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's. Let's jump into it for today. First game we got up is the Orlando Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's go injury report real quick before we get things started. We got Paolo Ventura, of course, still out. Gary Harris is still out for Orlando as well. On the Philly side, a couple key injuries for Philly here. So Embiid's not going to play. Paul George is off the injury report. Drummond is listed as game time decisions. That's something that I'm going to actually monitor throughout the day. He's missed the last couple games, but he is listed as questionable in this one to return. And I think that that's pretty impactful. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But also, and the reason why I think Drummond status, I think he's going to play, and his status means a lot, is because Bona is out. I don't know if you guys have been watching Philly play. Bona, like they better with him on the floor than Drummond on the floor. So if he's already out, no Embiid. If Drummond comes back and he's the only center out there, or he doesn't play at all, I'm smashing the total up and over. And I know it's not the greatest spot for both teams as far as like travel situation, but I was looking at the advanced number this morning. Drummond off the floor. I mean, Drummond on the floor. Like, Drummond don't play defense. He just get rebounds. He can't guard anybody. Pick and roll. He Swiss cheese. Put him in a blender. He a cone out there. So let's jump into the matchup. So we got Orlando, last of a 5-game road trip for them. 3rd game in 4 nights. 4th game in 6 nights for them. Not a great spot for Orlando. Back-to-back non-covers against the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers in the game that they played 2 days ago. However, they're still 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. On the opposite side, you got the Philadelphia 76ers. 3rd game in 4 nights. They're only 3-7 straight up in their last 10, 5-5 against the spread. 3 straight covers. Philly's 0-7 against the 0-7 as a home dog this season. That's straight up, because this line was 2.5 last night. It's money is moving in on Orlando to push this to 3.5. I should have probably mentioned that as well. Total hasn't really moved a lot at all. Open 210 is what I saw, still at 210. So continue with Philly. 2-5 against the spread as a home dog this season. 1-5-1 against the spread as a home, 2-5 straight up, 1-5-1 against the spread as a home dog. So that says just to continue to fade them here in this spot. Orlando is 2-0 straight up in the head-to-head matchup between the two teams, although they didn't cover that +6, that -6 the other day with Paul George being ruled out. With Paul George being ruled out. So here's the hiccup with taking Orlando, because I do feel like they're a better team. The hiccup is I'm going through the beat reporters last night, and the NBA admitted that they missed 2 calls that both impacted Philly. So they could potentially want to look out for Philly in this spot. Philly has been playing a little bit better recently. No Paul George. They still end up getting a cover the other day. It was a couple calls that they missed. One of them was they didn't. I don't know if you guys are watching, but Maxey tried to foul. They let like 5 seconds run off the floor. Orlando ended up passing the ball, lost 5 seconds on the clock, and then I think Maxey got fouled, and they didn't call it either. All within the last 2 minutes. So you don't like that as much. Of course, Orlando is by far the much better team. Could they win this game? Yes. Is it a terrible spot for them with the last game on the last game of a 5-game road trip, 4th game in 6 nights? Yes. Philly also playing 3rd game in 4 nights, but they've had a lot more rest over the course of time. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. I didn't bet the game. Do want the over though. I do want the over if Drummond's going to be in. If Drummond's going to be out, I definitely want the over. I think Philly's going to be flying up and down the floor with Maxey, Paul George, trying to score on Orlando without letting their half-court offense get set up. So that's the way that I would be looking. It's probably up and over. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Let's see. Mark says Wizards are cheat code. Alex says, from a Wizards fan, take the first half under forever. We talked about first half under 55.5 yesterday. Let's see what else y'all saying about. Let's go to this game specifically. Yeah, I knew they weren't going to be able to score, J-Dot. I'm glad you cashed that. I should have took the full game under. I told you guys yesterday I didn't agree with the line. It opened 222.5 when I saw it 2 nights ago. It went down to 220, and then it went back up to 222. And I'm like, how the Golden State Warriors going to score? They got an offensive rating of 97 with Steph and Draymond off the floor. We know Houston can't score. Their offense is atrocious. I should have bet the under. I did not, though. Oh, word. Okay, Prince. Yeah, right up the street from me, bro. Okay. What up, Mitchell? Appreciate you for tapping in. Miranda, if you want my picks, there is a link in the description of the YouTube video where you can sign up. I think it's $4.99 a month, $5.99 a month. I don't try to slap people in the head too much. It's just a token of appreciation for the hard work that I do. I am down on the season, though. I will tell you that. It's been a little inconsistent, but recently we've been cashing, trying to get back. It's been a green week. Let's put it like that. What's up, Ryan? He says Jaxon, right? And I'm a LA fan. You and me both. Alex says I used Jaxon, cashed the 5-game college hoops play last night off of it. Love to hear that, Alex. I need to be typing in what you type in. Justin says even Jaxon knows that my Hawks are like that. Yeah. Oh, I love it, man. Love chopping it up with you guys. Let's see. SK says Rockets get them in the cup game. Give me Lakers +5. Need Bron in though. We'll talk about that game in a second. GLB Best likes the over 209, 210. I like it. I didn't even see if he put this in the Discord, but Justin says he got on it as well. G421 says, what did we learn today? What did we learn in today's class? Raptors ain't nothing in the paint without Jakob. That's a fact. I talked about that on Cal's show yesterday when he was listed as questionable. Me and Ski talked about it yesterday. I would agree. No rebounding last night. The Thunder actually won the rebounding battle. Karen likes Merrill says he likes the Silva over his 8.5 points plus rebounds and assists. He says he's been cashing. Also like Mo over his 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Mo's been hooping. I like it. Sean says he grabbed the -3. They did cover against them last game, depending on if you forgot that the party got to the part early. Yeah, that's a fact. I forgot about that. They did cover the early number. Blunt says that game was with no Paul George. I like the quick revenge here for Philly here, Chris. It's disgusting, but it can only be Philly here. I can't put my money on Philly, but I understand your point, though. Like I said, terrible spot. Orlando, last game of a 5-game road trip, 4th game in 6 nights. If you want to fade Orlando, you typically don't want to do it at the crib. You want to do it on the road. So Maybe you wait for the line to get a little bigger, Blunt, but I can understand your logic. I can definitely understand your logic. Waz says he likes Maxey points. Lucky says 76ers early, first quarter specifically. Okay. What up, Lightbear? Top of the morning, Justin. Appreciate you for tapping in. Rocket Soul. Let's see. Miranda says, I want to grab the money line with Minnesota, but feels like a trap. We'll talk about that game in a second. Donna says, Philly's washed, man. Tasha says, I like both team totals to go up and over here with Orlando's defense not being as elite on the road. Okay, let's jump into the next one. My recommendation for that game would be over, though. Like I said, Drummond, I still got it pulled up, matter of fact. I'll give you guys the numbers. So with Drummond on the floor, the 76ers are getting outscored by about 14.6 points per 100 possessions. They have a defensive rating of 100, a defensive efficiency of 118.5, which means that that's how many points their opponents are scoring with Drummond on the floor. They don't have a backup center tonight. Even if Drummond does play, they don't really have too much of a backup center. Yabusele probably. With Drummond off the floor this season, let's see. All right, so with Drummond off the floor, their defense is a lot better. They're only giving up, because he had been missing the last few games. With Drummond off the floor, they're only giving up 112 points per 100 possessions. So teams are scoring 6 more points per 100 possessions with Drummond on the floor is what I'm saying. Let's move over to the next game. I did bet this one last night. Did not think I was gonna wake up with a little CLV in my pocket. Probably don't mean nothing, but and the total is continuing to drop as well. I did bet the total last night, so let's jump into it. We got an injury report that looks atrocious, man. Just welcome to the NBA. If you've never bet it before, this is what it looks like. You got let's see if I got all this right. So you got Chris Middleton making his season debut tonight, and I think Morjan Beauchamp is also listed as questionable in this game. He hasn't played the last few. On the opposite side for the Boston Celtics, you got, see if I wrote this down in my notes right. Porzingis questionable, Horford questionable. Was Horford questionable? Yeah, Horford questionable. I know I ain't write it down wrong. Yeah, he's questionable. Got a big toe sprain. You got Drew Holiday not on the injury report. He missed the last game against Detroit. Tatum listed as questionable. So it's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts here. Then you look at the situational spot. So you got a Bucks team that's been balling, right? 8-2 straight up. They only 4-5-1 against the spread in their last 10 games, but they've typically been laying points in their last 10 games. They had a 7-game win streak before, they probably partied a little hard on that plane ride back from Atlanta the other day. Well, back from Detroit after winning that cup game. This is 3rd and 4 nights for the Milwaukee Bucks, all with travel. And I was looking into their schedule last night. They've actually traveled 5 straight games. Because it's been home road, back to back for the Milwaukee Bucks. On the Boston side, not the greatest spot either. This is a 4th game in 6 nights, 3rd straight home game for the Boston Celtics. And the Celtics are fade tomorrow, just FYI, when they just so you guys know, because I like helping people win money. Celtics will be playing their 5th game in 7 nights tomorrow against the rested Milwaukee team, Memphis team tomorrow. But neither here nor there. 4th game in 6 nights for them here. 3rd straight home game. They've won 9 of their last 10, but they've only covered 3 of their last 10. And like I said, first leg of a back-to-back with the Memphis Grizzlies coming to town tomorrow. So I'm thinking about the game. And another thing I want to mention, Boston has won both games so far this season. They won both games by double digits. They were laying 5 in the first game. They were laying 9 in the first game. I'm sorry. At home, I think they were laying 5 in the second game, and they won both of them by double digits. Both games actually went under 232 and a 230.5 were the total. So I sent out, I'm gonna stay away from the spread just because I don't know what's going on with the injury report. But regardless, I don't think it's going to be a really big scoring game. So I sent this out to the members last night. I took the under. It opened at 231.5, and I thought that was a little bit too high. So I did jump in on the under. I'll just tell you guys why. I'm looking at last 5 games. You do got Boston, second best offense in the NBA. A lot of that was because they were catching Detroit on the second leg of a back-to-back the other day. They ended up scoring 130 points in that game. And I think we see a little bit of regression here just because it's a different style. So Boston is great scoring the basketball, elite shooting the ball. They don't turn the ball over a lot. And yeah, on the Bucks for the Bucks defensively, last 5 games they're giving up the bottom 10, one of the bottom 10 defenses in general. They don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't get a lot of offensive rebounds. I mean, they allow a ton of offensive rebounds, but the Boston Celtics don't do the greatest job of offensive rebounding the ball. And then you flip it. You look at the Bucks offense. They also top 6 rated offense, number 1 in effective field goal percentage. They don't get a ton of offensive rebounds, and they do shoot a ton of free throws. But Boston doesn't foul a lot. Top 10 in allowing sending their opponents to the free throw line. Here's the thing that got me to the under. I'm looking at the way that the Boston Celtics score the basketball, and we know this already. They shoot a ton of threes. Number 1 in above the break 3 frequency. Number 1 in the all 3 frequency. They're shooting it, 38%, which is top 11 right now. They don't want to put any pressure on the rim. But I'm looking at the Bucks, and the Bucks 3-point defense has been elite over the last 5 games. Actually, number 3 in opponent 3-point accuracy from the 3-point line, holding teams to less than 32% from the 3-point line. Same thing can be said with the above the break 3, the corner 3. Like, this is a really good 3-point team. Then I look at Boston's offense in the half court. They are scoring. They're top 5 offense in the half court. The Bucks defensively in the half court, about middle of the pack. Here's why I like it though. Boston does not push the pace. When you look at the points scored and transition frequency, points per 100 possessions, points per play, Boston's actually bottom 5 in every single one of those categories. So I think this game is going to be played pretty slowly. I love that. When I flipped it and I looked at the Milwaukee Bucks on offense, and I looked at the Boston Celtics on defense, because I talked about Milwaukee being a really good offense as well. Milwaukee's been shooting a ton of threes. Number 1 in 3-point accuracy, number 2 in 3-point above the break 3-point accuracy, number 2 in corner 3-point accuracy. Boston's defense has not been great from the 3-point line as of late. They've given it up. Teams shooting 40% from the 3-point line over the last 5 games. However, we got to remember Tatum didn't play in that last game. We got to remember Jrue Holiday didn't play in that last game. I would expect Tatum to come back in this game. We already know Jrue Holiday is going to be back, which also helps the defense. Remember the other day I talked about like a Detroit team total up and over 102.5, 103.5, whatever that number was, and they smoked it. I mean, they had that with 8 minutes left in the game. So I think, whenever Boston sees Milwaukee, they'll get up. The other thing about Milwaukee, they also playing super slow. Second slowest paced team over the last 5 games. Scoring the third fewest amount of points per 100 possessions in transition. Boston's been excellent in transition defense. They don't give up a ton of points there. So yeah, I like it. I like all of it for under, and the market agrees with me. A lot of money coming in on under this spot. I can't play the spread right now without all the injuries, but I do think we get enough to keep this one under the total. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Tasha says, I like both team totals to go over. So she on the opposite side. Oh, no, that's the first game we talked about. I'm sorry. Okay. I went back too far. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Karen likes Peyton Pritchard up and over his 1.5 threes. Okay. I can see that. Middleton is back for the Bucks. He's going to make his season debut. I'm not expecting Middleton to play more than 15 minutes. I'm expecting them to be super conservative with him in his first game back. James St. Patrick's like Boston -6. Is there a minutes restriction for Middleton? You would have to think so. It feels like Middleton hasn't played since COVID. It's been so long. So yeah, I would definitely Doc's not going to just, throw him out there to the Wolves first game back. He's not going to play 30 minutes. I'd be super surprised to see that. Karen also like Derek White over his 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I could see it. What up to my guy, Brian? He says, what up, Chris? I took the team from Philly +4. Also likes the Hawks and the Timberwolves. He says, and Timberwolves too. Ain't bet them though. Ain't bet them yet though. Okay. We'll get to those games. Blunt says Middleton doesn't move the needle for me. I still like the Celtics minus the points, especially if Tatum, Porzingis, and Horford all play in this game. Yeah, I could see that. I could also see this. G421 says, give me the Bucks +7 with the injuries to the Bucks. He says they're going to run it up on Boston. We got to wait to see who plays, though. And that's why I let all the dust, settle, all the smoke clear. And then that's when I've been kind of firing off. But and it's been successful to kind of put my plays in 30 minutes before the game. After I know everybody that's going to play, everybody is ruled out. When you got 5-6 people on the injury report, it impacts the game tremendously. And we see people get added to the injury report, impactful people that aren't superstars, like Jakob Poeltl yesterday. So just keep that in consideration. Let's see. Miranda says if Tatum doesn't play, like Jaylen if Tatum don't play, Jaylen Brown gonna take every shot that comes his way, and I agree with that. I think I saw a very sharp handicapper that I follow. I took Jaylen Brown points over 5.5 in the first quarter with no Tatum in that game on Wednesday, and it was an easy winner. He actually scored 10. So yeah. Mark says, thinking Boston team total under 118.5. They can win the game with defense. I thoroughly do agree with that. Let's see. I bet Lopez to score 20 points at plus 1,400 odds. Thoughts? Celtics are going to be missing centers tomorrow, and Lopez always surprises. Plus 1,400 for Lopez is good value. He's done it 3 times in the last 10. You did the homework already, Blue Magic. Don't let me talk you off. Adding Middleton is just going to mess things up, JM says. I don't think so. I don't really think so. I think he'll have a small role. Like he'll play through the he'll play through the offense. I don't think he's gonna mess too much up, in my opinion. We'll see how it goes though. What up to my guy, Prop Guy? He says Demon home. He likes his Bucks today. Let's see. Middleton under his threes. All right, let's keep it moving. Mike Drop says Giannis had 43 and 30 in the last 2 games against the Celtics. So yeah, we know that the Celtics don't want that physicality down low. Porzingis wants it, but outside of that, Luke Cornett's been banged up. Like they're not the most physical team. They can be, but they're not in the regular season. They want to save that physicality for the playoffs, in my opinion. Let's move over to the other game that I bet. We got my Los Angeles Lakers. They will be in Atlanta, A-Town. Getting 4.5 points tonight. Total in this one, open 232.5, down to 230.5. And for the Lakers, injury report, Bron is listed as questionable. Austin Reeves has already been ruled out of this game. And on the opposite side, and Anthony Davis is probable. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's a bunch of guys that don't matter anyway. And then on the opposite side, you got Trae Young is listed as probable. So it looks like Atlanta's going to be a full go outside of the guys that they have been missing in general. So last game of a 4-game road trip for my Lakers. They played 5 of their last 6 games on the road. They're 4-6 straight up in their last 10 games. They're 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. It hurts me to come on here and talk about the Lakers. 5th game in 8 nights for the Lakers. 7 games in 11 nights for the Lakers. Terrible spot for the Lakers. The Lakers are, if you watch the show, you know, I've been talking about these teams playing these, 7 game and 11 nights. They've been super profitable fade spots. If you just fade those teams every time, you're winning about 63% of your bets. And if you're hitting 63%, you're hitting more than me and you're cashing a lot of tickets. That's the spot for the Lakers tonight. Excuse me. On the Atlanta side, and that's enough to fade the Lakers in general right there. But on the Atlanta side, and we saw that the Lakers got embarrassed in Miami. Could they come back with something in this game? It's probable. It's possible, right? Typically, you don't want to continue to fade teams for too long, but because eventually they're going to wake up. But who knows when that's going to happen? I don't think this happened tonight. On the Atlanta side, 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 games. They have won 5 straight, though. They've covered 4 of their last 5. 2 days off rest after this game. They don't play again until when? Sunday or Monday, I think it is. Like they gonna get the chill after this game. So I look at this spot. The Lakers, they have played the Atlanta Hawks well. They're 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the spread in the last 10 head-to-head matchups. Last season, both teams split, winning their home games specifically. So I'm looking at I'm going through the game last night, and first thing I do is I always write down the spreads for everything. I like to know what the spreads are going to be. I like to know what the total's going to be, and then I'll go through and I'll start handicapping the games individually. But if I see a spread that I really like, sometimes I'll stop and go ahead and cap that game because I think the line can move. But most of the time, the lines don't move that early. If I'm capping the games at 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30 the day before, I'm not really worried too much about line movement. This line moved, and I was pissed, if I'm honest, because I took Atlanta. I took Atlanta minus the 3.5, but this opened at 2.5. I would love to have Atlanta only needing to win the game by possession. You get a 3.5, you need them to win by 2 possessions. You get a 4.5, you definitely need them to win by 2 possessions. But I am on Atlanta in this spot. Like I said, I think it's just a terrible spot for the Lakers. The trend that I told you guys about teams playing this 7-game and 11 nights, those teams are 21, 31, and 1 against the number. They're only covering 40.4% of the time. You can catch the falling knife with the Lakers if you want to, thinking that they're going to, step up. And I will say it's some merit to the Lakers playing better without LeBron James, if indeed he does not play in this game. I love LeBron. I really, really do. And this is how I kind of handicap the whole. Here's my synopsis of why the Lakers are struggling so much right now. And I kind of gave a little bit of sauce away the other day when I said this. But the Lakers are not the youngest team in the NBA, and they've been traveling all over the place. When you travel that much, you do not get a chance to practice. The Lakers got the Portland Trailblazers coming up at home in their next game, and they get a couple days to fly from Atlanta back to LA, run through some things, kind of reset. They've been a lot better at home than they've been on the road as well. I think that's when they'll get themselves together. I think when you're led by when your best player or the person that dominates the ball as much as LeBron James does, when they're, a little older, they're playing, 3rd and 4, 4th and 6, 5th and 7, which that Timberwolves spot was a 5th and 7, 6 and 9. This is the 7th and 11 nights. No time to practice at all. You're not going to look a lot better in the next game. Now, that last game against the Miami Heat, that just was like no effort. But even if they bring the effort, I don't think that they're beating the Hawks in this spot. And that's why I took them, because the Lakers could bounce back. But I wanted to give you guys some numbers real quick. So with LeBron James on the floor this season, this is astounding. Per cleaning the glass, with LeBron James on the floor, the Lakers are getting outscored by 8.5 points per 100 possessions. Losing by 8.5 points with LeBron James on the floor. This is why I said it could be some merit to the fading the Lakers if LeBron does not play. Maybe they play better without him. They're giving up 120 points per 100 possessions with LeBron James on the floor, allowing teams to shoot 58% effective field goal percentage. With LeBron James off the floor, this is what's going to blow your mind. With LeBron James off the floor, the Lakers are, wait for it, plus 12.8 in points scored per 100 possessions. So they're outscoring their opponents by 13 points per game, 13 points per possession without LeBron James on the floor, scoring 125 points per 100 possessions, only giving up 112. So if you like the Lakers, wait. Let LeBron go out. Maybe you get a better number with them. But I did play Atlanta last night, and I do like the under because the Lakers offense just hasn't been able to score. So I wrote the under down. Probably won't get there, but I agree with the line coming down. Still don't really want to lay a lot of points with the Lakers. And I could go through and give you guys the whole analysis and breakdown about, what the Lakers do, what the Lakers, don't do, and the strength and all that good stuff. But it really don't matter. What I tell you guys is this. Lakers don't get back in transition. The Hawks score a lot in transition. They're going to want to push the pace, run this old Lakers team off the floor. They're probably going to do so. And then the other thing was the Lakers offense. You know what the struggle is? They can't shoot the three-point shot. Bottom 2 in three-point shooting the last 5 games. LeBron has missed like 4,000 3-point. He had missed like 4,000 3-pointers in a row before that game against Miami the other day. You know what Atlanta weakness is? 3-point shooting. Lakers can't even beat them at their weakness. So I do like Atlanta in this spot. Let's see what you guys are thinking here before we move on to the next one. Jalen Johnson showcase. I'm locking in the -4. I like Jalen Johnson in this spot as well. Mark says he got the -3.5. Thank you, Chris. Bonus. Fade the fakers. Come on, Mark. Don't do us like that, bro. Don't do us like that, man. Lakers going from one strip club city to another strip club city with a day off between. Oh, man. Take the Hawks is what Jay Steve says. And that's a fact, man. You're going from Miami to Atlanta. Boy. Yeah. If you know, you know. Jalen Johnson over. I knew this was coming. Points plus assists. Been a cash cow since he's playing it again, Merrill says. Plus, so we just fade your Lakers on the road, Chris? Absolutely. What have they shown you to not do so, Blunt? Like I said, I typically don't play teams coming off a humongous loss like the Lakers. They lost that game by like 40, but I don't think this is a spot where they're going to be disconnected, where they're just going to magically reconnect against an Atlanta team that's playing really good basketball right now. JM says Atlanta been beating these teams, and that's a fact. Justin also likes Jalen Johnson. Points and rebounds in his pocket. LeBron over his 1.5 threes, over 8 of his last 11 games versus the Hawks specifically, SK says. Okay. Jalen Johnson, more Jalen Johnson love. Appreciate you, Justin. G. Hurd says, we'll talk about that game in a second. Not a lot, though, but we'll talk about it. What else should I say? Thoughts on Hawks first half -2. So dropping down, I kind of feel like if the Lakers gonna come out with anything, it's gonna be early. In these 7 game and 11 nights, I would look more towards a Lakers team total under in the second half. At halftime, I would take a live Lakers team total under. Typically, teams don't score a lot on the 7 game and 11 nights in the second half. They typically run out of gas, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Last game of a road trip as well. So that's the way I would look at it. Tariq says if the Lakers are in the Wizards play, who will win? Oh, the Lakers smashing the Wizards. Don't do us like that, Tariq. Don't do us like that, bro. We beating the Wizards by 20. Like everybody, like the rest of the NBA beat the Wizards by 20. We beating the Wizards by 20 as well. Mark says we all lose. Let's keep it pushing, man. Love chatting it up with y'all. Next game up, we got Kings and the Spurs. Game will be played in San Antonio tonight. They're getting 4.5 points as a home dog in this spot. Interesting number here. This actually opened with the Spurs getting 3 points in the total. I know I wrote this down wrong. No way this total was this high. Yeah, I definitely wrote that down wrong. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what I wrote in my notes, but I know I'm not tripping either. Either way, neither here nor there, whatever. All right, Sacramento. Let's see. I'm just curious now. Let me just double check and see what the total was. Let's see if I wrote it. Yeah, I'm tripping. All right, cool. Open 227. All right, so Sacramento, second leg of a back-to-back, of course. Third game in 4 nights. Fourth game in 6 nights for the Sacramento Kings. They lost last night at Memphis. We said that they were going to lose. The sharp money came in on them. They ended up losing, even though Ja Morant got threw out for some BS with DeRozan kicking his feet out. I'm pretty sure you guys probably saw that. The Kings are now 2-8 straight up, and against the spread in their last 10 games. I want to say, I think that's what it is. And they got the win, took my money against the Rockets, and came right back down to earth. On the San Antonio side, back-to-back games for them as well. Third game in 4 nights, fourth and 6 nights for them as well. Not a great spot for either team here. And they've lost 3 of their last 4 games versus the Lakers, versus the Phoenix Suns, and got mollywopped. I like the Bulls last night. Didn't put a dollar on them. Not one piece of U.S. currency. Bulls went into San Antonio with the rest advantage and smoked those boys last night. Now you got San Antonio, which I should talk about the injury report just really quickly. Victor Wembanyama did not play last night. He has not officially been ruled in or out tonight. I went through the beat reporter list this morning trying to figure if I could get anything from, the San Antonio side. I didn't see anything. So if you guys know anything about Victor Wembanyama's status, let me know, because I was looking for it, couldn't find anything. The Kings don't have anybody listed on the injury report, but we know that they can submit pretty late. The San Antonio Spurs can also submit pretty late. Like Chris Paul potentially not playing this game wouldn't surprise me. Would it be in the back-to-back third game in 4 nights and fourth and 6 nights for them as well? So I have no idea what to do with the game. Trey Jones also missed yesterday. So maybe some Castle props. It's not like a game that I really want to even like handicap, honestly. I didn't go through it in like complete detail. I'm not as high as the rest of the NBA is on the Spurs, it feels like, in my opinion. Like, they're not a really good team, in my opinion. I know that they can play defense, but they're really, really inconsistent and kind of spotty. And that's what I've been trying to like stay away from, is the teams that, are spotty. I will say this. I guess if you think about it from this perspective, the Bulls went into San Antonio last night. We know the Bulls want to play one way, super fast. The Kings play the opposite. They play a much slower brand of basketball. The Bulls shoot a ton of threes. Sacramento can't make a 3 to save their life. They're bottom 5 in 3-point shooting over the full season. Last 10 games, they're bottom 10. Offensively, they're just not that great. But San Antonio defense has also been really, really struggling. So I guess the spot kind of matches up for under. I think I wrote under in my notes when I was looking through, just kind of like briefly handicapping the game last night. I think I definitely need to know the status of Victor Wembanyama, so I'm not going to waste your time. Also want to see what happens with the injury report on the opposite side and for Chris Paul as well. But yeah, I think that's the way that I would be looking. San Antonio is not a great three-point shooting team, and the Kings' three-point defense is one of the worst in the NBA. Actually, the second worst, right behind Atlanta on the full season. Last 5 games, they're bottom 10 against the three-point shot as well. So yeah, I think I lean a little bit more under than anything else, but I want Wemby down there altering some shots if I want to play this game. But I need to look a little bit deeper into it. I also need to see the injury report, so I'm not going to waste your time with this one. Jamel likes the Spurs on the money line. They have won. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this will be the third matchup of the season. San Antonio has won both games. One of them was in San Antonio. The first one was in San Antonio. That was the one Sacramento was coming off the overtime game against the Phoenix Suns, and they had won the night before. They literally could not score the basketball. And then and San Antonio mollywopped them in that game. And then they just played, I think it was like last week in Sacramento. Sacramento should have been looking for some revenge. They got smoked in that game. San Antonio hit every shot that they took. I think Wemby had 4 threes in the first half. So definitely wait on the status of Wemby. But I mean, I think it means something when, you're on the second leg of a back. Maybe it don't mean nothing because the Kings are just trash. But you're on the second leg of a back-to-back. You're on the road. You're a favorite. And you've lost to the team 2 times. I mean, that says it's a Sacramento spot. It also probably says that Victor Wembanyama doesn't play, but I'm not putting my money on the Kings. I think that they probably are the right side, though. Jadon says, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He says in both their last 2 games, back-to-back players got ejected since they were not happy with the ref calls and some BS calls happened. Okay. Merrill likes Devin Vassell to go up and over his 14.5. Blunt says, give him Spurs on the money line. Merrill says, Kings on the money line. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on. What's up, KC? Hope all is well with you. She says, Wemby probably going to play today after sitting yesterday. I was thinking that, KC. Like, I was trying to read up on it. Couldn't find anything to confirm it. The other thing is, though, I kind of feel like almost like with Steve Kerr, the way he does with your Warriors is like if somebody's injured, he's quick to be super cautious with them. We see Steph not play, we see Draymond not play, and I kind of feel like they do the same thing with Wemby. Like if there's any kind of a hiccup at all, like they'll just sit with me. So that scared me off a little bit, but he dictates a lot in this game. Miranda says, can we are free that Chris Paul isn't the same? Oh, can we all agree that Chris Paul isn't the same Chris Paul no more? I have to just stick to his assist prop. He barely can get up 10 points. Yeah, it makes sense though. Chris Paul been playing basketball since Chris Paul older than me. So yeah, makes a ton of sense. I remember him at Wake Forest. Yeah, I agree. KC says Spurs DJing, don't know what you gonna get, and I took the words out of my mouth. Could not agree more, KC. My opinion, not yours, says I'm done taking Chris Paul for a while. Every time I take that prop, he turns into Smush Parker. Hey, shout out to Smush Parker, man. LA legends. Like, nah, he won a legend, but Smush used to get buckets back in the day. Mark says he'll pass, and I agree with that. Wemby is out. Ronnie says we don't know that for sure, but we'll see how it goes. LJ says the way to play San Antonio is the third quarter coming out of halftime. Okay, somehow I'll take it right down in my notes. Ryan says, Chris, I got to bet the Kings first half spread because you think it's the right side, but not betting it. Your leans have been blessings lately, bro. I think is what he means. And yeah, I got to look a little bit more into it, Ryan. Ultimately, I'm spending too much time on it because if I don't know what happens with Wemby, I'm just talking. So, and I hate just to talk. That's what I'm talking about, Casey. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, where does Kerr come from? Kerr comes from the Popovich, coaching tree. So, he may look at injuries the same way Popovich does. Just, kind of some correlation there. Yes, I won't talk about CP3, but I didn't think his assist prop was a good play in the last game. Phoenix defensively have been pretty good, especially at home. So anyway, let's move over. We got the Pacers and the Bulls. This line open. Pacers, Bulls getting 3. They now up to 3.5 point dogs is what I saw that. My fault. I didn't add the plus on. They're not laying 3. They're actually getting 3.5 points here. So let's add that. At least that's what it was last time I looked at it. Let's see if it's changed. Nah, 3.5 total is crazy though. 248.5 is absolutely insane. It's actually continuing to move. I wrote 248 down. It's up to 248.5. This is the game I kind of want to take the under on, if I'm being honest. And I know the Pacers defense has been god awful, but offensively they're not great. The Bulls defense, don't look now. It's actually looking a little bit better recently. But on the second leg of a back-to-back, can you really? Yeah. I don't know, man. Bulls defense ain't that good. And the Bulls just want to play. They want to push the pace. They want to get out and run. So injury report, you got the Pacers playing with 1 day's rest. Still not a good spot for him, though. Nembhard is listed as questionable. I'm expecting him to play. I think that he just got rolled out in that last game because it was the second leg of a back-to-back, and they're not quite ready to put him in back-to-backs quite yet. Ben Shepherd still remains out. And on the opposite side, it's going to be interesting to see if Kobe White returns. He did not play last night. It didn't even matter. Lonzo Ball remains out. Patrick Williams remains out as well. And they could also add guys to the injury report. Remember, Josh Giddey came into yesterday's game questionable. He did play yesterday. So you got a Pacers team that's been god-awful. 3-7 straight up. 0-9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. They failed to cover in 6 straight games. This is the 3rd game in 4 nights, even though they didn't play last night. And it's the 4th game in 6 nights for them. Offensively, they look very, very challenged right now. And defensively, they also look very, very challenged right now. Real quickly, let's just look at the Indiana Pacers real quick. Let me pull them up. My charts. And then for Chicago, second leg of a road back-to-back, of course, with travel from San Antonio. They had 2 days off before the game last night, though, so I'm not sure how fatigued they'll be. The Bulls are 4-6 straight up in their last 10 games. They've covered 4 of their last 5 games and 5 of their last 7 games. So, probably thinking like, who laying points with the Pacers right now? If I'm looking at Indiana last 5 games, they are bottom 10 offensive rated team, bottom 10 defensive rated team. Opponents are shooting the second highest field goal percentage against them at 60.2. They're not getting any offensive rebounds. They're not really doing a lot at all, honestly. They're just not doing a lot on the offensive side of the basketball or the defensive side of the basketball. It's crazy to think that the Pacers are scoring 109 points per 100 possessions over their last 10 games. That's 22nd in the NBA right now. So if I can't trust them to go out there and score the basketball, I definitely can't trust them to lay points. And I know it's the second leg of a back-to-back for the Bulls. I know that the Pacers have lost a bunch of games and eventually they're going to get right. I just can't put my money on it. I cannot put my money on the Pacers right now at all. I do think getting Nembhard back is going to be super helpful. He'll be one of the guys that's not playing the 4th game in 6 nights, and they play better without him. That game in Memphis the other day, they played a lot better, at least in the first half. If I'm looking at the Bulls, defensively 17th over the last 5 games. They don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't give up they give up no offensive rebounds. 3rd best offensive team at limiting opponent offensive rebounds. Defensively, they're solid. The Pacers are getting out and pushing at the 9th highest rate over the last 5 games, pushing pace, trying to get some transition buckets. The Bulls are actually limiting teams to 5th fewest transition frequency opportunities over the last 5 games. So doesn't feel like Indiana's going to be able to score the ball efficiently in this spot, in my opinion. If I look at the Bulls offensively, I feel like they've got to be a top 5 offense just because their shots have been falling. And if I look at Indiana defensively, Bulls are 4th in points scored per 100 possessions, 2nd in effective field goal percentage, 8th in turnover rate, not turning the ball over a lot. not getting a ton of offensive rebounds, not going to the free throw line. They're not going to the free throw line because they shoot that 3-point ball. Oh my God. The Bulls are actually top 5 in 3-point shooting over the full season, shooting 39%. And they let them fly, shooting the 3rd most threes, probably behind only the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last 5 games, they're top 5 shooting the 3. Top 10 shooting the 3, top 5 shooting above the break 3. And that's where the Pacers have really struggled. They actually allowed teams to shoot 41% from the 3-point line over the last 5 games. Chicago's pushing pace, of course. They are 13th in frequency as far as getting out and running, 10th in points scored in transition, points per possession scored in transition. Pacers defense hasn't been too bad in transition frequency. Here's the discrepancy. The Bulls half-court offense scoring 109 points per 100 possession, per play, which is 5th in the NBA. So the Bulls offenses look really, really good in the half court. Pacers defense, 26. So you're looking at a bottom 5 defensive rated team. I can't put my money on. I know it's the second leg of back-to-back. I can't put my money on the Pacers. I think it's really just that simple. I got a little more work to do, but that's what I'm thinking here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. That Pacers team total under, I like it. I like it a lot. Real quick, I was thinking about this as well, but the Bulls defense, it plays so fast, man. Pacers team total for today is 125.5. The Pacers ain't scored 126 points on the road probably all season. I know it's the Bulls, but Pacers are absolute fade on the road. Real quick. Pacers are 2-11 straight up, 3-10 against the spread on the road, losing by average of 11 points. Losing by average of 9 points, I'm sorry. They failed to cover 8 straight games on the road. The last time that they scored 125 points was... They haven't. That's crazy. Pacers team total under 125.5. It's crazy though, because Chicago on the second leg of a back-to-back. I'm gonna write it down though. Pacers have not scored 120. Oh, they have. They did one time against the Mavericks. One time against the Mavericks, they scored 125 points. I bet you the Bulls have given up 125 points a bunch of times at home. Let's see. Bulls unrested, 3-1 to the over. Opponents are averaging 127 points per game. That's enough to keep me off right there. They gave up 133 to the Magic on the second leg of a back-to-back. They gave up 142 to the Grizzlies on the second leg of a back-to-back. Timberwolves got them for 135. Pistons only got 112. And the Thunder only scored 95. I'm sorry, Thunder only scored 114. So, yeah, it's either way up and over or way below the number. Bulls average opponents 125 points on the road. At home. Jesus. Boy, that does not look great. But I like it, Jose. Don't let me talk you off. Drop a Dime says, then got me started with the Indiana compact cars. He said they're not Pacers anymore. They're compact cars. They don't run fast enough. G says, I like the Bulls here, but might be gassed after dropping 139 last night. I think it's an under spot, man. I really do. I do like the under. I think this is a tad bit too many points. Blunt says, this is about to be an all-star type game. Defense being played. Ugly. Miles Turner under his 8.5 rebounds. Can't get rebounds if you don't play defense. KC says Rick said their offense needs Nembhard. It does. Rick Carlisle said that it absolutely does. So that they can play fast and a lot more efficient. When you got Furphy out there, bro, he cannot score the basketball, man. He's not a Pacers player. He got to be groomed into one. Mark says no more Pacers for me. Got to be a live bet if he's gonna play the Pacers. Got to be a live bet for him. LJ says Pacers are worst team on the road in the East, first half and full game, 1-7 straight up. That's a fact. That is a fact. Nembhard is a huge safety net for Halliburton. I agree with that. Tariq says he likes the over. I can't play a total at 248.5 over, though. I can't do it. KC says she likes Vooch points here. He says Miles Turner is soft. Walker gonna put him in the basket. Jez Walker's been pretty good for them. Matthew hasn't been good either. Yeah, they played a ton of games, though, man. Ton of games. Pacers and Pelicans super fade on the road, LJ says. Set it and forget it, he says. Mark says Pacers team total 125 does seem kind of high. Yeah, that's a tad bit too high for me, man. That's a tad bit too high. I'm too contrarian to be like, yeah, I'm going to just take the Pacers team total over. Nah, not in this spot. They played 13 road games. Only one time if they hit that number. Pacers getting like the Sixers. I swear every game is a Pacers spot, and they either lose outright or don't cover. And KC that's bingo. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Mark. Bingo. That's exactly what it is. What up, Will says, what up though, Chris? These teams may be fatigued with the crazy schedules. I lean under 2. I just think it's a big number, man. We see a lot of these high totals don't quite get there. So yeah, I think it'd be an under spot for me. Backwood 77 figure says Bulls team total over. Ferry says, okay, it's a lot of ways. Best way Pacers first half, yeah, and they've been getting smoked in the first half. They got smoked to Toronto in the first half, got smoked to Brooklyn in the first half as well. They've been a much better second half team as of late, but I don't know, man. Next one up, we got Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. Game will be played in Oracle tonight, and Chase tonight. I'm sorry, no more Oracle. Injury report here. We got Rob Dillingham. He's still out. Joe Ingles, of course, is out on the Minnesota side. Golden State. Steph Curry didn't play last night. Draymond Green didn't play last night. Steve Kerr said that the plan is for Steph to play today. When I was looking at the the pregame stuff, he said that Steph should return tonight. He also reiterated that it's possible, quote, that Draymond Green also plays tonight. So I was ready to fade Golden State after that effort last night, but I was like, you know what? Let me do a little research real quick, figure out if these guys are going to play, and it looks like both of them are going to play. So you got Minnesota. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Minnesota, but they've been catching teams slipping recently. Just super, lot of rest advantage spots for the Timberwolves recently. They've been that team to come up based on the spots that they're catching these teams in. So I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but Minnesota is 5-5 straight up, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've won 3 straight, have covered back-to-back games with impressive defensive performances against the Lakers and the Clippers, giving up 80 points to both teams, which is crazy to me. I feel like they've kind of found their identity. They've had 3 straight unders cash. Minnesota has also had the rest advantage, like I just talked about, in quite a few games recently. They caught the Clippers and the Lakers on the second leg of a back-to-back. And now they get Golden State on the second leg of a back-to-back as well. So that'll be 3 straight teams that they've had, a major rest advantage here. Excuse me. Minnesota has actually played really well against the Golden State Warriors. Well, looking at the Warriors, second leg of a back-to-back for them as well. Third game in 4 nights. They're only, I think, 4-6 against straight up, maybe 5-5 now, and 4-5-1. Excuse me, against the number in their last 10 games after that. Beatdown of the Houston Rockets. Well, it wasn't a beatdown, but they did beat the Rockets. They own the Rockets. 15 straight games. We talked about it. Don't matter who playing. KC out there playing. Me, KC, a bunch of people in the chat could beat the Rockets, and we got a Golden State jersey on. But neither here nor there. Minnesota has kind of dominated the head-to-head matchup. They won 4 straight in the head-to-head against Golden State. Remember Rudy Gobert got put in the headlock. Draymond had him. Come here, look. Had him in the headlock. And Minnesota won both of those games when they played last season in Golden State. The head-to-head matchup, Minnesota's actually won 7 of the last 10 as well, including 3 straight in Golden State. So Minnesota has played well in Golden State. And that's the way I was kind of looking in the game, man. I just want to see what happens with the injury report, if Steph actually plays, if Draymond actually plays. I do feel like Golden State exerted a lot of energy last night, shooting a 3-point shot. Defending Houston and playing super hard. A lot of, if you watch the game, it was a lot of Kuminga, a lot of Wiggins getting downhill, attacking the paint. It's going to be a little bit more difficult tonight. We know anything about, if you know anything about Houston, Sengun can't jump over a loose leaf sheet of paper. So you can really, get to the rim and attack. And that's what, every time I look, the rim was right here and Kuminga was right here, or the rim was right here and Wiggins was right here, just getting to the rim, doing whatever they wanted to do, seeking out Jalen Green and putting Fred VanVleet in a lot of really bad situations. So I all that said, man, I do think the Timberwolves can come in here and beat Golden State. Now, do I like to fade Golden State at the crib? No, but I really don't like to do it if they're a dog. With them laying a point, you're probably going to be able to get a better line when Steph gets ruled in. Draymond potentially gets ruled in. And then it's popcorn. I don't know if I'm going to actually play it or not. We'll see. I got a little bit more diving to do on it. A little bit more deep diving to do on the game as well. But just giving you guys some early thoughts, especially without knowing that Steph and Draymond are going to be active in this game. Golden State needed that win in the worst way after losing 5 straight games last night. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Warriors for Blunt. Merrill likes Ant over his 4.5 rebounds. Gobert rebounds, taking the under. I do like under. I forgot to mention that. 220.5 is the number. Warriors offense has not been great. Timberwolves really locked in on the defensive end. Second leg of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Timberwolves, I mentioned, only giving up 160 points in 2 games combined. Their last 2 games, catching teams slipping in the same exact spot. I do like under. If Golden State, if Steph and Draymond gets rolled in, though, this total is going to go up. Then I think you hit the under. And like I said, Steph is probably going to get rolled in, so you'll see the total start to go up. But yeah, those are my thoughts here on this one. Is under. And I forgot to mention this as well. It's the first of a little back-to-back series. I think these 2 teams play again on Sunday. That game will be in Minnesota. So couldn't talk anybody off, just kind of watching this one and then betting the second one based off what happens in this one. Warriors money line. Warriors easy money. Everybody like the Warriors. Smokey said, hold on. Want to take the Timberwolves, though. Might wait until Steph and Draymond get rolled in. And that's what I said. Gobert finna get choked out again, Charles says. This is a Wolves spot, Merrill says. KC says also about the under. When we've been on that slide, the losses are correlated with our focus shifting away from defense. I agree with that. She says before last night, Draymond mentioned and hinted to them getting back to that. And you saw it last night. They defended the 3-point line well. Not like the Houston Rockets can shoot a 3 anyway, but defended the 3-point line really well. Contained Sengun. They did a really good job. Glad you cashed. Glad you cashed, bro. To me, the defense ways we saw to the beginning of the season. Yeah, I agree with that, Casey. It looked a lot like that defense for sure. Miranda says, so Chris, should I take the money line of Minnesota or is it a trap? Starter plus 100. This is what I would do, Miranda, if I wanted the Timberwolves. And I kind of like the Timberwolves in this spot. I would wait until the line, until Golden State rules Steph Curry in. This line will probably go to 2.5, because it opened at 2.5, and money's come in on the Timberwolves already, even though Steph Curry and Draymond could potentially, Steph's going to be back. Draymond could potentially return. So I think you wait if you want the Timberwolves. You get a better line when Steph gets rolled in, here in my opinion. Got the revenge angle here. You got Wiggins playing against his old team. G421 says if Ant been talking Timberwolves points over, and if Steph's back, Golden State -1.5. Okay. Wolves are nothing, PZ says. I kind of agree. 5 straight games like less than 40 points combined. Yeah, I would agree with that too, Casey. She says it's gonna be a bloodbath, and I like that. I think it's an under game for sure. Under and T-Wolves, in my opinion. Minnesota under for Brian as well. Steve cut rotations. He did cut rotations. About time he cut rotations, but I figure he won't go do so until it wasn't a winning proposition. If it's working, you keep doing it. That's with anything. Yeah, I think so too, Brian. I think they are the gift that keeps giving. Is this the last game, or do we have one more? We got one more. Not one that I'm interested in talking about. We got the Jazz and the Blazers. 225 is the total. 2.5 is the number in favor of the Portland Trail Blazers. This line open, I think right where it is now. I feel like the line got shorter. No, this didn't open at 2.5. I'm tripping. This line opened I swear I saw something else, but maybe it was. I don't know. Injury report real quick. We got for the Utah Jazz, we got Jordan Clarkson and Flipakowski, I think is how you pronounce it. Both still listed out on the Jazz side. On the Portland side, Scoot Henderson listed as game time decision. No clinging. Robert Williams is still out. Matisse Thybulle, of course, hasn't been playing. Portland has been not great defensively. Last couple games, they actually reverted back to Chauncey Billups, conversations, giving up a ton of points recently are the Portland Trailblazers. To put some numbers to that, defensively, they are the worst team over the last 5 games, giving up 127 points per 100 possessions. The worst in opponent effective field goal percentage. Giving up the second most offensive rebounds, which is crazy because they're typically a good rebounding team. Fouling at the second highest rate, 26th in net rating. And the Utah Jazz have not been any better. Boy, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to play the game. Really didn't even want to talk about it. So Utah is second. They are coming off 2 days rest. This is second of a little 3-game road trip for them. 1-9 straight up, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, with their only cover coming against the Lakers at home. They went to OKC and got absolutely obliterated a couple nights ago. And then Portland, like I said, they've also been getting smoked as well. This is the first matchup between the two teams. Utah did win the last 2 last season when they played, and they won 3 of the last 4 last season. They covered 3 of the last 4 when they played last season as well. Not a game that I'm going to be putting my hard-earned money on. I'd rather go get, some Christmas presents or something. I'm not touching this game, man. I don't really got nothing for y'all, honestly. I can go through all the numbers, but I know I'm not betting the game, man. I know I'm not betting the game. I can't lay points with the Portland Trailblazers. They're getting absolutely smoked, but like I said, the Jazz have been absolutely atrocious. Defensively, they're also really bad. I said Portland was the worst defense. Utah's the second worst defense. Last 5 games. They also don't force any turnovers. They give up a ton of offensive rebounds. Portland, if they do anything well, it is offensive rebounding the basketball. They're 4th best offensive rebounding team over the last 5 games. Utah offensively, kind of struggling everywhere except right at the rim. So Aiden will be needed to slow down Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen. John Collins in this spot. I don't got nothing for y'all, man. Utah can't shoot the 3-point shot, but Portland 3-point defense has been the worst over the last 5 games. Teams are shooting 44% from the 3-point line over the last 5 games. That's all I got for y'all. I'm not talking too much more about this game. Best of luck if you're betting, though. I don't got nothing for y'all there. Let's get into a quick recap. So yesterday, hold on. Oh man, dang it. Okay, never mind. Yesterday, last night I did take Atlanta. I took 3.5. I would still play 4. It's actually moving to 5 now. So yeah, I also like the under in that game. You can wait on LeBron James news if you want, but I think it's an under 230.5 type spot. I also played Milwaukee and Boston under. I got 231.5, sent it out to the members. It's down to 228.5. I agree with the way it's going. I would probably still take 228.5, but I'm not going to give it out with 3 points of value that I've gotten. I do think Indiana and Chicago goes under. 248 is a lot of points, man. A lot of points. I got to look a little bit deeper, but I do think it's an under spot there. Sacramento, San Antonio, I got nothing because I don't know about Wemby. Utah, Portland, I got nothing. Golden State actually coming down to 1. So people are betting Minnesota right now. And I do think if you want Minnesota, you want to get as many points as you possibly can. I wasn't expecting that to happen, though. The total's also dropping. I think I had 220 on the screen. It's down to 2. I see a 218.5. So Minnesota plus the 1. May put that in. And I will probably be on the total. I like the total a little bit more than either Minnesota, Golden State, but I want Steph to be ruled in. So we'll go under. It's a 219.5 available on Caesars right now, but this is moving to 218.5 on most other books. So shop around, like I always say, get the best of the numbers, but this is the short list for today. And the plays that I bet are always in green. The plays that I haven't bet, short list been crushing recently, but the plays that I bet are in green. I did bet Atlanta last night. I did not bet Atlanta, and I didn't bet this. This should be red. I did bet this though. This should be green. I took the under. So two official plays for me. Lines have moved a little bit. I still like them both. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully it was helpful. Catch you guys in the next one. Check the resources out if you guys are interested. There are referral codes for everything that I use to handicap sports, all right here. And you can get referral codes to get, save a couple dollars if you want to check them out. None of them are long-term. You can cancel at any time with all of them. Best of luck on all your action today, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow Saturday. Yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your Friday as well. And best of luck on all your action for tonight, man. I'm out.